Now, before I start talking in today's video, I just want to get this out first and foremost in the beginning of this video. I'm sick. I have a cold and I apologize, okay? So bear with me. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And yeah, we'll get through this together. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I'm so excited to talk about the guitar that I have in my hands today. What an honor to finally do a dedicated demo, review, showcase, and just a video in general talking about my own signature guitar, my first ever signature guitar. This is the Cerberus Aerobus 6-string baritone XRC model. And XRC stands for me, Xander, Raymond, Charles. Those are my initials, and they even decided to put it on the cavity on the back. So I'm really excited to knock out this video. Can't wait to talk about it. If you could please do me a huge favor, it would make me feel better. How about that? I'll milk this for all it's worth. In all seriousness, everybody, if you could please subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this guitar, what you like, what you dislike. I'd love to hear from you guys. Follow me on any sort of social media platform. I've got them all. Follow me on any sort of streaming service platform so you can hear some of the cool riffs that I create with guitars such as this. I really sincerely appreciate it, okay? With that being said, let's start talking about my own signature guitar. First and foremost, this thing's badass. Let's kick this video off with a little tune. This is a song that I wrote. It's called Switch. It's available everywhere. It's in drop F and it goes like this. Love that song, love that riff. It's a refurbished riff from a song that was many, many years old, and I dusted it off and gave it a new coat. Absolutely love that song. Hope you guys dug it. So let's start talking about the specs with this guitar, okay? Knock it out real quick. 30-inch baritone, single pickup, P90, 1 volume, hip shot bridge, hip shot tuner, roasted maple neck, bolt-on construction, side dot lumen lays, ebony board, 24 stainless steel frets. And the body's made out of mahogany, if I didn't say that. I've already had the ability to play several of these guitars live and tour with these guitars, as well as these have been on the market and in a lot of people's hands for quite some time. Almost everybody who's bought these has tagged me in it and it showed me how much they love it, which is super sick. And it's even cool to see these hit the big stage. Like, for example, the guitar player from Memphis Mayfire was seen playing this exact guitar. And what an honor, man. Like, that's super cool. Memphis Mayfire is a band I used to listen to, you know, when I was a kid growing up and still to this day. But, like, you know, to see Kellen playing my guitar on stage with Memphis Mayfire, it's pretty cool. So I designed this guitar in August of 2023. Cerberus hit me up and said, hey, dude, we'd love to do a run of guitars with your name on it, and more or less like a collab of sorts, but also too just whatever you want to do, man. Like, let's make it happen. And I had my specs down immediately. I knew exactly what I wanted this guitar to be. I've been known to be a baritone guitar player. That's kind of my bread and butter and kind of what I'm most predominantly known for on the instrument that is electric guitar. So when I wanted to make my own signature baritone, I was going to make a baritone. It's a silly phrase that I've made kind of infamous over the last couple of years, and that is like, if you're going to make a baritone, make a baritone. Meaning, baritone scales start, generally speaking, around like 26.5/27, but I've never really understood having a baritone with such a short scale length. If you're going to make a baritone, let's go for it. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. And 30 inches is pretty much the longest you can get without it turning into like a mini bass guitar at that point. And the main reason why I wanted such a long scale length is for two reasons: note clarity and string tension and incredibly low tunings. Drop F is my favorite tuning for baritones, and arguably, depending on the flavor of the week, it's my favorite tuning of all time. But especially for baritones, drop F, that's the best. So you need an incredibly long scale length to get that low of a register. But when you do get down that low, you have so much clarity because you have so much string tension and note definition because of the long scale. And not only do you have a long scale for great note definition, but you also have a single coil, a single P90 in the bridge position. Because in my experience, whenever you have a single coil, whether it's a Jazzmaster pickup or a P90 or anything, and incredibly low tunings, it just cuts and it has incredibly defined, distinct note definition when you're playing. Let's just address the elephant in the room. This guitar was inspired heavily by one of the most well-known guitars that I own in my collection, and that is my Squier Vintage Modified Baritone Jazzmaster. I mean, whenever I did my rig rundown with Premier Guitar and Chris Keys this past summer, Chris said something to me that really stuck out, and I wore it very proudly, and I'm honored that he said it. But we were talking about my Squier, and he said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, but there's several gentlemen in the music industry that have made this guitar famous. The gentleman from Loathe, one of the dudes from My Chem, and yourself. And I said it in the video, and I'll say it right here, like, what an honor to be lumped in with those gentlemen, right? And my goal wasn't necessarily to be famous by playing a guitar or like make that guitar synonymous with me, but that Squier is really what made me fall in love with baritones, and it made my love for baritones start as soon as I got my own copy in mid to late 2020. Now, what's also cool about my signature guitar is I've already toured with several versions of this guitar. My 7-string prototype, which was the first one, which was kind of backwards but kind of cool. And then I also took one of my other copies of my 6-string out on tour with Elijah, and I played about 20 shows with it in drop C. Now, this is where it's kind of funny. Back when we designed these in August of 2023, Mike from Service was like, dude, let's try something here. What do you think of this? You want a single coil sound, right? That's totally fine. But let's put a humbucker-sized single coil / P90 in the bridge. Therefore, if you or consumers who purchase this guitar don't want to be stuck to a small route for a P90, they can just put in a regular humbucker and not need to do additional woodwork. Fast forward to now being hired to play guitar for Elijah. I wanted to take my signature guitar out on tour. I think that's the appropriate thing to do, right? However, most of his songs are in drop C, and drop C on a 30-inch baritone with a single coil it's going to sound a little thin in my opinion. Where these guitars really shine with the single coils is, again, the lower register, the drop Gs, the Fs, the Es, the way down there tunings, right? So I was like, I know Elijah's very particular, and rightfully so, about his tones and how he wants his guitars to sound. I was touring with him all in the beginning and the middle of 2024 with an EMG. So in the fall, let's just throw in another EMG in one of my signature guitars, and it'll match perfectly with the already set up stage plot and set design that Elijah's running. And lo and behold, it worked perfectly. It sounded amazing. I was using the Quad Cortex with the Gojira X, and I played upwards of, like I said, 20 shows, give or take, in September and October of 2024 with my signature Cerberus Baritone. So it was a happy accident and a great idea by Mike from Cerberus. Now I have 3 copies of this guitar. I have a 7-string variant, I have a 6-string variant with a humbucker, and I have this one that I'm holding right now, which is still my favorite rendition and version of my guitar, and that is a single coil P90 in the bridge down in drop F. But it's kind of funny how something so incredibly niche, a 30-inch baritone, can still be incredibly versatile. You know, like I made this, I have no shame in saying I made this to be a riff stick and play some heavy, brutal music, but you can customize them and mod them however you want, and you can make them fit whatever style or band or tuning you want them to be in. And this is me not selling it to you because they're already sold out, so I just think that's kind of cool and a happy accident along the way. Baritone. I finally got my own dedicated video out on my signature guitar. It's long overdue, but it's kind of cool how these things are already kind of known out in the market. And now that I have some time home, I can knock out a video dedicated to this guitar. I absolutely love it, man. I think it sounds absolutely great and gnarly and clanky and clear and articulate and brutal in drop F, and I couldn't be happier. So again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for sitting through this video with me. We got through it. We got it done. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for always supporting me. With that being said, I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Later.